Okay, new chapter. It chapter 367 of Berserk, the continuation of Kentaro Miura's, done by Studio Gaga. I hope that my recording volume is finally loud enough. The last two videos were really quiet, so looking at everything, I think I have it set up to a point where I'm audible. But yeah, I might have to re-record this if my volume is too quiet. But chapter 367, if you don't remember what happened in the last two chapters ago, I should say, Griffith showed up, Guts attacked him. The sword went, the Dragon Slayer just kind of went through Griffith. Like, he wasn't there, he's intangible. Um, and then Zod showed up and seemingly protected Griffith, because we didn't really get any dialogue from him, so we didn't know. And now we have the new chapter, 367. I believe it is in total 17 pages, I think. Which I didn't comment on last chapter, but the chapters have been really short from Studio Gaga compared to Miura ones. But the chapter opens up directly from the end of last chapter. Zod is here, and he is pissed. And Guts just straight up says, one after the other, they keep showing up. Because you have to think, Griffith showed up, and then maybe not even a minute later, Zod shows up. So Guts is fuming. Zod just straight up starts attacking him. He goes for a punch, I guess, or a claw stab. Guts is able to jump to the side, but Zod hits him with a twirly hand, I guess, where he's like rotating his hand. But Guts is able to react fast enough and blocks with the Dragon Slayer, but he goes flying. And then, cutting away very quickly to Isidro, Danan, Isma, Serpico. They're all walking together. They've been working the manual labor stuff, and they're saying goodbye to Danan, but Isma hears a thump, and Danan has fallen. And she says, everything will break apart. Which is like cool, I guess. Everything will break apart. We are in danger. They will come from the ground one after the other. And we get to see what that means. But I'm going to complain about this now. And I'm probably going to harp on it at the end too. But this chapter is the first one from Studio Gaga that I believe actually suffers from, like, bad art. Not, like, terrible. This is still better than I could ever do. But the few pages, or I guess panels, of Serpico and Isidro, they just look weird. Isidro isn't drawn seriously for almost any of his panels. He has one serious panel, but Serpico just looks like weird or wrong. I think it's the hairstyle that they gave him, but I'm not too sure. But another complaint about the art, for at least from me, is the first few pages where it's Guts and Zod. I don't know if it's the actual art or if it's just their layout. It looks really cramped and like messy. Especially that the second panel where it's the close up on Guts' face. It just, like, yeah, it looks like Berserk and it doesn't look bad from a distance, but when you actually look at it, it looks kind of rough. Especially also compared to the rest of that fight scene, it kind of plays out messy. But going back to the Guts, Griffith, and Zod scene, Griffith is approaching Farnese and Shirke and Casca. And we get to see that Farnese is still holding Casca. Shirke stands up like she's going to do something. Zod notices that Guts is bolting towards him. And in the good old style, one Beast of Darkness eye, Guts goes for a slam with the sword. But it stops just on him. I don't know if this is Griffith actually taking the hit and it just didn't phase him at all, or if Guts stopped right at the end of the attack to save Casca, or if Griffith used his God Hand abilities like telepathy or telekinesis or something to stop the sword just shy. Because you have to remember, back in I even all the way back in Black Swordsman, we saw that Griffith is able to just control this shit. He stopped a cannonball from hitting him. He's able to just kind of throw Guts around. He was able to mush a bunch of apostles together during the eclipse to try to stop Skull Knight. But the reason that Guts is attacking Griffith is because Griffith is holding Casca. And then we get to see Guts seemingly lowers the Dragon Slayer next to Griffith. Very calm. And then the earth starts breaking. The earth under Guts and the group is falling apart. And then we get to see Farnisa and Shirkei seemingly okay, but possibly not. The way it's drawn is kind of weird because it's their panel and then a panel of like a hole in the ground with a shape next to it. I can't quite see. But yeah. And then we get to see that Griffith is seemingly protecting Casca from it. And then the end. We get to see the aftermath of the rubble falling apart and then just end of chapter. Last page does have it's a full page, so it's a full page art. And the teaser text is "Their life without evil crumbles." And it will be back August 12th, so a month from now. So we are now to monthly releases for this. And I don't think I am in the minority here. This chapter, I don't know if it's just the fact that it is an action chapter and action just moves faster, or if it is just genuinely a shorter chapter, because you also have to take into account fight scenes probably take significantly longer to draw than just people standing around. But I'm gonna do a little thing where I see how long average chapters were for Berserk. Because if this chapter was 16 pages, 15 if you don't include the translation group page. So if we just go to chapters, right? And we go to like chapter 356, Jotun Part 2. Released 4 years ago. Damn, bro. Let's see. So this is a scene. This was a chapter with the Band of the Hawk. Like, I'm pretty sure this was during their war days. So let's see. Hello. Chapter 357. Let's go there. This is the chapter in which Griffith kills just a frost giant, I guess. And there are approximately 16 pages, but there are 1, 2, 3 double page spreads. 4, 5. 5 double page spreads, which means that this is more realistically if there are 16 pages on this website, meaning there's probably 21 pages in the actual chapter. So, yes, the Studio Gaga chapters are, I think the last time we got chapters So with the double release, they were about on par for normal. But the newest chapter is definitely shortened. Even the chapter that Costco wakes up, not counting double page spreads, is 18 pages. And that's not counting the fact that this had a lot of double page spreads. Like I said, I wasn't going to count them. But there is a significant double page spread presence. So I'd be willing to say probably, again, like 25 pages being nice. So yeah, I think I've beaten on the fact that the chapters are significantly shorter long enough. But if this is the new length of Berserk chapters, I'm gonna be real, I would be okay if they took longer. Because one of the consistent things with Miura was they were not monthly. I don't think they were ever monthly recently. They were not monthly when I got into Berserk. They were not monthly, I'm going to assume, for a long time before that. But now Studio Gaga's at the helm and they want to make these monthly, seemingly. And that sounds good, and I am glad that we are getting a consistent feed of Berserk. There's no more of that, we don't know when the next chapter is going to come. But I think I said something similar to it in the last video. If they want to do consistent Berserk, and they want to make these chapters actually worthwhile, have a decent amount of stuff happen in them, again, unless Miura had told Mori ahead of time that each chapter was going to end with this, then you don't need to end with that. The past 2 chapters have had endings that just lead directly into the next. Like, there was never a significant breakaway. Yes, there were the cutaways to different point of views, but that's not what I mean. Those are like beginning of chapter things. Every time a chapter starts, you can expect the cutaway. But then eventually it should come back to whatever the main focus is, mostly Guts. These past 2 chapters, basically all that's happened is Guts and Casca see Griffith, Casca freaks out, Guts attacks Griffith, Griffith kind of toys with Guts, Zod shows up, Zod confronts Guts, and then the earth cracks and Griffith holds Casca. While this is happening, you have all the cutaways. So you see Casca leaving the house. You see, in this news chapter, you see Isma, Isidro, and Serpico with the Non. These are things you can include. And then Puck was, I think, 366. That was his, that was the cutaway for that chapter. Those are things that you can put in the middle of a big chapter, but space them out evenly. So basically what I'm saying is get rid of the repeat or the, not repeat panels, I shouldn't say that. The re-establishing panels. So at the beginning of the chapter and the big cliffhanger panel at the end of a chapter, you can merge these last 3 together and it tells a pretty, like, decently length, not obscenely long for one chapter, but, like, it tells a good amount of content for one chapter. But, okay, I don't know how to phrase it. I just don't think into words. That's not English, but whatever. My thoughts don't really go into words very well, so unless this is communicated, it's whatever. I'm not that upset about it. If this is what a chapter of Berserk is now, monthly, I mean, I love the story, I love the world, I love the characters. I'm still gonna read it, but it's gonna be disappointing. But another thing could be the fact that this was 2 weeks after the other 2, so I don't know what that means. It could be something. But yeah. This video is going to be significantly shorter than the last one. It's probably going to be on par with a bad One Piece chapter review. So, rough. But I kind of expected these to be longer because it's Berserk. But this chapter didn't really have a whole lot to talk about in my eyes. Like, yeah, it's cool. because I didn't really talk about this, so there is something I should say. The end of the chapter where Griffith is holding Casca. It's not like a hug, right? It is a full like carrying her, and Zada's in the background like confused almost. So if I had to take a stab at what this means with absolutely no previous or no foresight into it, going strictly off of this, the way it's paneled, how Berserk has been set up for a while, everything, I'm willing to bet that what I'm about to say is wrong, but this is my idea. Griffith is going to kidnap Casca for whatever reason he has. If we are going off the idea that everything he's doing is a ploy from the God Hand to destroy humanity and become more powerful, even though that wouldn't really serve their goals because they get their power from the idea of evil, and the idea of evil is directly like it needs humans to exist. But Griffith takes Casca to Falconia, maybe just to give her a decent life. Make her a deal like, hey, you stick around in Falconia, you can see the boy every month, you can spend time with him, and there has to be a little bit of you that still wants to see Griffith. I'm expecting this all to come from like a third party, so like Sonya or maybe Zod, but I doubt that. She's held captive in Falconia. Guts and the merry band of idiots comes to Falconia to rescue her. This is when they meet up with Ricker and his team, because Salat, the old man Daiba, I think his name was. I might be wrong. The old man, the Bakuraka, they were all together, and Rickert was building like fucking RPGs. So they meet up with Rickert's group. They storm Falconia in an attempt to get Casca back. Something big happens with the God Hand Wise and Falconia and Griffith. And that's as far as I'm willing to predict. That is a very big stretch for what I think, but hey, that's not at all what my original thought process of what was going to happen was. This chapter kind of threw a monkey wrench in it, but it's fine. Yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot to talk about in this chapter other than that. So yeah, the chapter is fine, short, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that this chapter dropped when I didn't know it was coming. Like, 365 and 366, there was like basically a countdown for it. But this chapter was like, yeah, it's coming out on Friday. It was apparently supposed to come out tomorrow, because I'm recording this on Thursday, July 7th. I think it was supposed to come out the 8th, but early scans and everything, you know. Or it's supposed to come out last Friday. I have no idea. But this chapter's kind of showed up. I got an announcement in a Discord server. It's like Berserk chapter 367, the English translation. And I read it. It was like, holy shit, it's here. But yeah. Maybe that's why. Maybe these chapters need build up for them. But August 12th, I believe it was, is when the next chapter comes out. So, yeah, I'll be waiting with bated breath to see how that happens. But this has been a big, busy time for especially me, because I have a lot of series that have stuff that's happening lately. And given that this is this, I am willing to read them. So there was Berserk coming back. I'm gonna wait and find the actual message that I sent because it's funny. Okay. So the Dr. Stone special chapter came out July 4th. The Dr. Stone Risui air date is July 10th. Chainsaw Man Part 2 comes out July 13th, so in a week. Berserk 367, so this came out July 8th, so yes, it was supposed to come out tomorrow. And One Piece comes back on July 25th, meaning we still have a decent wait for One Piece. But to fill that void, we got another series that, my God, I'm gonna hate myself when these series are all coming out at once. But I am willing to say it here. I'm gonna be doing Chainsaw Man chapter reviews as well. I'm gonna probably reread Chainsaw Man here soon in build up for the new part 2. But yeah, Chainsaw Man reviews are also probably gonna be a thing, so keep your eye out on that. Probably gonna be a very similar format to this, me just sitting down talking about the chapter. Maybe with Chainsaw Man I'll actually do colors or something. I don't know. The issue with Berserk colors is the fact that they take fucking forever, and then when I want to like crop it or speed it up into a video, it takes forever to export on Premiere. Like the last One Piece video, I think it was the double feature I did, if I remember correctly. But whatever. One One Piece video took like fucking 34 minutes to export, which is like, that's not insanely long, but for a video that's shorter than that lengthwise, that's weird. Yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling at the end of this video. Maybe this is why I should stream, just so I can talk. But yeah, until next time, for the Berserk reviews, remember August 12th is the official date, so it'll probably come out a week-ish before that. So August 9th, maybe. But until then, stay safe, have fun, read more manga, and keep struggling. Okay, guys. Bye.